It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, everybody. My experience comes from being appointed by 3 U.S. governors to represent their administrations in positions of leadership that have everything to do with what the lieutenant governor actually does. And that is emergency management, that is legislative affairs, that is criminal justice system at a state level. So I'm the only candidate right now that has that platform and that experience. So I will truly be ready for the position on day one. And I worked for very successful governors in the past. And I'm proud to say that the Latino aspect of it does help a lot in dealing with the minority throughout the state. And it's a pleasure to be able to compete, because it's all about qualifications, not about how much money you have. So I'm glad to have this opportunity. Thank you so much. Well, as a Latino, it really touches very close to my household. I was born in the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, so we truly don't have to worry about that, but most of my friends, they've been affected. So when it comes to the sanctuary city concept, I think it should be defended at all costs. It doesn't matter how much the bullying is. We do have the 6th largest economy on the U.S., so we can certainly hold our own. I don't think we should bend to the pressure of the federal government. I think we should protect our immigrants, because they made America what it is right now. And I think we should offer the dreamers a way to legalize their status, and that's also a whole different aspect of it. But I'm all for sanctuary cities, and we should expand the concept if we can. Character is actually crucial. I've been fortunate enough to be in appointed positions in big committees statewide for 14 years of my professional career, and character is your actual currency. It's what people believe. That's why they named me a chair 3 times for huge committees that deal with everything from criminal justice system all the way to hospital abuse and neglect. So if your words do matter, and we all know what happens when you vacillate and you go with whatever the voters tell you to do. People have to trust that what comes out as information from you is trustworthy and is truly what is best for the community, and that goes with the experience. Well, I am very glad that I'm a big admirer of Governor Wolf, and I think he's doing spectacularly well. And I'm very glad that he declared the opioid addiction actually an epidemic, because it puts it directly in what the Lieutenant Governor does. So that's where my past experience comes in. I do think that it assigns an incredible amount of funding to make a real difference that couldn't be made before. So that's where the leadership comes in. I do think that the injection sites, the field sites, is a good idea. We need to see where that takes us. I do think that the funding to clean halfway housing is there now. So we can actually change the traditional neighborhoods where people were recovering. And there's a lot more efforts being done right now regarding control of inventory control. Right now there's no liability. They could just prescribe however many they want. So that ends right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Eric?
At a state level, we must revise the concept of the Keystone test, simply because it's not fair for every single school system. We have school systems that are graduating kids in high school with a 6th grade level of education, and some places are just training for the test, because that's how the state distributes funding. Well, that's unfair, and that needs to end. We have to put all the Commonwealth at the same level. That's what other successful states have done in the past for many years, and this is not a new problem. So when it comes to funding, I do think that penalizing the homeowners is a mistake. I am with Governor Wolf and his effort a couple of years back of doing a modest increase in the sales tax for the state as a whole to reduce the liability for homeowners 60–70%, and that way fund the schools on a permanent level by legislation. I think that's very important. But it is underfunded, and it just keeps being on the phone, but it doesn't matter how administrations go through, so that needs to end with the right leader. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sosa.
Well, first off, you need actual statewide experience in the criminal justice system to do reform. You need to know that the board needs to be diverse. That's the first, because those are the decision makers. So you need to appoint people directly that will represent the people that you want to actually help. Then the second thing is, I do believe that we're sitting in a horrible amount of recidivism, about 70%, at the cost of hundreds of millions of dollars. So there isn't a budget that can be balanced with that. You need compulsory education for people that are paying their debt to society. They come out with a degree, and the state has the responsibility to do post-prison opportunities. Okay, so they come out with a career. They don't have a motivation to go back. Right now, we just toss them out on the street and expect for them to be successful, and that's never worked in any state. Okay, so that will be my approach first, and then see what we do with no privatizing jails and giving them the opportunity they deserve. Well, state economies work just like a household, just at a largest level. So if you have things that are bleeding your money, you need to close them first before you start cutting services. So we have tax loops that need to be closed. We have things like the Delaware tax loop. We do need a different mix on the decision makers at Senate so that we can tax our natural resources. Right now, with the mix that we have, it's an impossibility because they'll never vote. Right now, it's just a suggestion. You have to force them through legislation. And that's what we need to work on our mix up there. But we're not taxing appropriately. We're allowing a lot of corporations to get away with incredible amounts of subsidies. And we need to put our house in order before we start punishing our own people. So I do think that's how state operates, and it's like operating a successful business. Shut down the faucet of money and make sure then you repair what needs to be
60
repaired.
seconds.
Thank you.
We'll start with Mr. Sosa.
I do think that fracking is an industry that if it were just being developed right now, it could be more easily controlled. However, you have 65,000 families that depend on that. So we can limit it, we can regulate it, and we can make it green. Now, there is, business goes where money is. So if at a state administration level, you put the right incentive for them to migrate to green energy, they're going to migrate. Right now, there's none, and they're getting our resources for free, so there's no motivation to develop it. But I do think that fracking needs to be limited, taxed appropriately, and made as green as you possibly can. Because for every job in there, 5 extra jobs get created. So it's a massive part of our economy, and it is what it is.